just talking about a phenomenon called no last reps, right? One of our surfer friends says, you never say one more, you just say a couple more, couple good ones. And that seems to protect people from the curse of the bad rep. But there's a diversion here, or a split in the crowd about practice makes perfect versus practice makes permanent. I think people listening right now can relate to the fact that it sticks in your craw and you're gonna get this lift, do this thing and sacrifice yourself.
What was your rule?
And this is a good rule, I think.
If I've missed 3 times, shut it down.
Yeah, and I said I might miss 3 times and go for a 4th, but after that, it's not worth it. But if I'm missing a weight that I know I should hit almost 100% of the time, that's it for the day, except for I'll deload and definitely make one more successful.
You'll finish on a good one.
Yeah, always finish on a successful
Do you think
one.
that you were a collegiate gymnast at Georgia?
Yep.
Does that come out of that tradition?
Yes, yeah. You always had to end on a good turn. If you fell on your face and you were terrified to get up again, your coach made you get up again because you had to do it that day rather than sitting on it, not sleeping because you were scared to do it the next day.
I look at it as you get 3 attempts, that's it. Take that feeling and take it into your next workout. And that's like, I like that. And like, I don't want to walk away having a bad session, but if I walk away having a bad session, you bet I'm coming hard in the Metcon or whatever's next. And I think that like having that mentality of, you know, you got to have short-term memory in competition. You could go out and you only get 3 attempts. So you got to deal with the outcome, whatever it is, good, bad, ugly. Take it, learn from it, walk forward and put your head down and let's go.
Is it possible that if we all used to take numerous attempts and like keep going until you hit the lift, is it possible that now that we've all gotten stronger and the loading is significantly heavier at this point on your body, that it takes more of a toll, so we are able to take less attempts?
Yeah, I missed my 65-pound clean 100 times. It's okay.
Right.
Except for
exactly.
Ben, his limit's 57.
Yeah, well, this is really what started it. Because I think you're onto the physiology. Something's changed. The loads are different. But you were talking about missing 275.
Yeah.
47 times.
So I'm a little, I don't know if I'm a little different or whatnot, but if I have a weight on the bar that I know that I can hit, I'm gonna try that weight until I'm mentally exhausted and I don't feel like I wanna try the weight anymore. Then I'll back it off and I'll hit the one last rep to end it. But I've had times where I've attempted weights 20 times or more even in a session, and I'll hit it at the end. And then I'm done.
This frames the conversation perfectly. How do you know you're done, or how do you know when you're on? I mean, we were starting a conversation about, hey, you have always been into recovery early on, that you knew that sleep mattered, nutrition mattered. Do you guys, how do you know when you're good to go and when you're not good to go? Do you just get up and you're like, I'm going to work, digging it out, doing the volume, or are you guys a little bit more precise around that?
Training and the way that we do it is very, very mental. So if you wake up and you're really ready to attack it, you have a goal for the day, you're going for something, that completely can change your training session and change the way that your day goes.
I was gonna say, a lot of people go by like physical measures, but I go more by feel, and I think a good sense of if you're recovered is your mentality.
I mean, Ben's been doing this for 10 years. If Ben wants to make 30 attempts on a barbell, then Ben should do that. This is what he does for a living. He's been doing this for 10 years. He is so in tune with what his body is capable of doing, then I would trust Ben to do that. It kind of comes with like, what's your why? Like, why do you train every day? Are you training for fitness? Or are you training to treat this as a sport? Those are 2 completely different things. And you know, when we wake up in the morning, the first thing we're thinking about is training. Lucky for us, we wake up and most of us have a schedule set where if we need to get a little more sleep, then we go back to bed and we sleep longer. We understand what it is when we get up and we feel recovered and we're able to go in and kind of get after it, whether it's, you know, my body feels beat up in this way, so maybe I stay away from the weightlifting today, and I'm gonna push the cardio a little more.
We were working today. We zipped over to a local friend's gym to get some work in, and I just saw you smash almost back squat PR, right? Just like crappy warm up. You know, you didn't do anything dangerous, but like, how is it that you've felt confident enough to do that on this day? With all the variables going on, the travel, you've come in from the East Coast.
I guess that's a good question that really ties into what we're talking about by feel, because I honestly didn't really know what to expect. For me, that's something that's pretty variable. My squat strength, I'm sure you guys are different, pretty strong dudes, but sometimes I'll put 315 on it. It feels really heavy, and then sometimes I can hit 405 like it is 315. And especially today, coming in from a day of travel and kind of not doing much all day, sitting around, a very, very fast warm-up because we didn't have much time. I wasn't expecting to get much out of it, and as I was going, it was feeling good. My positions felt tight, my body felt strong. I was coming up pretty quickly out of the hole, so I said, hey, I have 10 more pounds on there as a PR, why not go for it? And was close, but no cigar, but that's okay. I think to get a little bit of that
I really like that
stimulus.
openness because you can kind of surprise yourself sometimes. And I think that feel, going to sea a little bit. We have a model, we spend a lot of time on the river, and when we get to big rapids, sometimes my daughters are like, hey, I'm not going to run that rapid. I'm like, we're not even to the rapid yet. You can't make that decision. So we always say, you never want to sink yourself until you have a chance to really get close to the edge and look over and say, today it's for me or today it's not for me. Because some days I'm gonna have to go to the gym and train, even though I'm sleep deprived and I think I'm gonna have a terrible workout, but then I get to the gym and my family gets to the gym and it's an amazing session.
Yeah, for us, it might be okay to say, okay, I'm not there mentally today. Maybe I'm going to go home, take a nap, come back, and try again later. But not everybody's going to have that luxury. So I would recommend for the everyday person, like probably consistency is going to be a bigger goal than PRing their back squat. So I would say, why don't you try to get started with class? Let's get warmed up and then dial back the intensity a little bit today and just get moving, because you're going to feel much better regardless of how you do today. If you did it, you're going to feel better for the rest of your day.
So the conversation here is that you guys are handling insane volumes, incredible workloads, and there's some practices besides your genetics that make that possible. Can you talk about your experience as a high-level athlete and your relationship with things that ache and pain? Because I think sometimes when people are coming into sport for the first time or training for the first time, something is sore or achy or hurts a little bit, and they're like, whoa, I must have injured myself. But clearly that's not the case.
I think we can sometimes tell the difference between something that is just a sore muscle and a little tweak that you can kind of push through, and something that if you kind of continue to push through that, you're going to make it worse. Those are the times that I know, all right, I need to take a second to step back and use something like the Marc Pro to really get in there, or massage, or whatever it is.
Any type of athlete, really, there's a prescription for all of these things, and it's the same thing. It's the Marc Pro.
Which is really shorthand for movement.
Right.
Right.
It's movement.
Scott and I have been talking a lot about like foot pain, and relating to this year's Open, we had the workout with like 800 double unders. And I remember
Were there 800? I don't remember. I think I only had to do 100.
Lucky.
it was close to 800. I just remember like so many people were complaining about their calves being wrecked, and I went home immediately after the workout and hooked up the Marc Pro to my calf and the bottom of my foot, and I had no experience with the calf thing, and I was able to repeat the workout on Monday.
Well, that's the same thing that people experience when they come in and they're just starting to do fitness. So I do 100 squats in a session, and I'm a newbie in the gym. I have that same feeling that we all had when we had to do 800 double unders. Like my feet, my calves, everything hurts. There's only so many things that you can do to recover. Like I'm not going to go out and walk more, because at a certain point I'm going to be fatigued, and those muscles are continuing to work. Using the Marc Pro, I can get my feet up, it's non-fatiguing, and those muscles are starting to recover and improving blood flow to and from that area.
You guys would know if you had pumped for hours and hours and lo and behold ended up being sore or blown out the next day, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
not been the case.
It's not been the case.
Never.
No,
Never.
you can leave it on for hours.
I've slept with it.
I've fallen asleep for
Yeah,
sure.
I've slept the whole night with it.
Do you guys find that your family is like, hey, what is that? Can I get on that? Can I borrow
For
that?
sure.
unit?
I think
Does that
everybody's
happen?
tried it, even if they don't need, like, not a CrossFitter. My sister has tried it. It's like, oh, this feels different and kind of fun.
I kind of like
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
It feels good.
My mom has one.
Yeah, I have two, and one stays at the gym and one stays at the house, and a lot of time I end up with two at the gym, and I don't have any. So people are always using them at the gym, and it's really helpful.